you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go. Hi. This is Crystal again with the History of Mom Life, and I have my first mama interview. Yay! For 2010s. This is my cousin's wife, Angel. And how old were your kids in 2010?
I started off 2010 with a 5-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son. And I was divorced and destitute, so it was really interesting times.
So we're going to get into all of that. So first, my question is, and we just talked a little bit about it, can you give us the basics about your life in 2010? How many kids did you have? How old were they, which we just said? You were single, not married. Oh, and what was your work and childcare situation?
Ooh, that was rough. I didn't have a dependable support system, so it was basically all on me. And I needed to go back to school because I needed employment. And I needed to be there for the kids.
Right.
So thankfully she was old enough to go to public school.
Right.
My 2-year-old, not so much.
Yeah.
So luckily my mom, who is a disabled vet, she wasn't able to take advantage of her GI. So I got money to go to college.
Oh.
So I filled out my FAFSA, I got the Pell Grant, I applied for every private scholarship imaginable. I got several of them because I am a paper writing queen. And I even took out a loan to help with daycare costs because that was really the biggest.
Yeah.
And I went back to school, but I really had to humble myself, and I applied for food stamps and housing assistance, which made it bearable.
Right.
I was still destitute, but I wasn't living in my car.
Yeah.
I was destitute as American standards.
Right.
So I had an apartment, I had a car, and I had a TV. Okay, granted the TV was like 13 years old, and the car was a headache, but it was paid off. So my biggest expenses were the rent, utilities, gas.
Gas was really expensive in 2010.
Yes.
I haven't talked about this yet on the series, but I was going back and looking at it. It was like $3 a gallon.
Yes.
And it's what, like $2.30 now? But yeah, it was expensive. I mean, like, expensive for us.
Yes.
Like, in the other parts of the world, obviously, it's much more expensive. But that's a whole other situation.
Even in Arkansas.
Yeah.
It was... I went back to my Facebook to say, what was it like in the 2010? Just to
yeah.
And I actually took a photo of my gas.
Oh,
I was so excited because it was $2.30. I had like 40 cents off of gas from Kroger, and I was so excited about $2.30.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me about a typical week or maybe a day in 2010. What did you and your family do?
Okay, we were very busy. I found every free program at
Just
the
like
library.
now.
Yes, I found everything free. I knew where every Kids Eat Free program was, every restaurant. I knew their schedule, everything. Festivals. We were always out camping, volunteering. We were always out doing something. We're a very active family. I think we all have ADHD, so getting out, and plus we lived in a very sketchy neighborhood. We didn't want to.
So just getting out of the house. What did y'all do for entertainment? I know you just talked about lots of festivals and things like that, but as far as like music, televisions, magazines, books, stuff like that.
We were constantly at the library. We lived at the library. And I had that 15-year-old TV, but that meant when they were switching over, I needed a converter box to watch TV.
Yes, I remember that. Okay, sorry, I was just checking when we were still recording. Yeah,
the converter box.
The converter box.
There were some government free ones if you pay for shipping and handling.
Yeah. somewhat remember that.
And I would see the commercials
Uh-huh.
pop up all the time, like, get ready.
Yeah, get ready.
You're
It's
going to
coming.
lose
Yeah.
your TV.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, you know what? There was so much political stuff
Yeah.
on
the airwaves.
Yes. And
Well, it wasn't it wasn't an election year.
no,
But-
mid-election.
Oh, mid-year.
Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, I remember that.
And it wasn't like the politics that I had grown up with.
Mhm.
They were starting to get very polarized.
Mhm.
And I would hear so much of it out and
Right.
about. I
Yeah.
didn't feel like I needed the TV to keep telling me.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And I didn't want the kids to be like commercials and stuff, just feeding my children, because they were also getting more technology in schools.
Mhm.
So they were constantly in front of TVs, smart boards,
Right.
computers. It was just way too much. And if you go to the library, you get free movies, free
Yeah.
music.
Yeah. Did you
So-
guys have a DVD player?
The TV was a VCR combination TV.
That's exactly what me and my roommate had in 2010. We had like the big, I don't know if you call it
Box.
cathode ray, but it was like the big box and it had a VCR in it. And I don't think we have a DVD player either. We would watch DVDs on our computers, but the TV we used VHS.
Yeah, I eventually was able to hook up a DVD separate player to the back of it, and then you had to take that out and hook it up with my.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, good for you. I make my husband do all those things because I'm like, I don't want to break it. But
That's
for
how
you.
I am now. But
Yeah.
back then I had to do everything.
there was no one else to do it.
Yes. And it was hard because I'm a more traditional, conservative kind of person.
Uh-huh.
I wanted those. You fix my car.
Right.
I don't want to hear anything about my car. But my car was constantly
I
breaking
just want
down.
it to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I was, teaching my son, take out the trash. And he's
Uh-huh.
like 2. We'll carry it together.
Okay, mommy. That's funny.
Yes.
So you guys like rented a lot of VHS tapes from the library and things like that.
They didn't have the VHS. I had a collection of it.
Uh-huh.
So we did all my old movies. So they grew up on the old stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then my mom got us the DVD because when I was in college, I'd have to cram my whole semester into either a Tuesday, Thursday schedule or a Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah.
So I could still work on some of those days
Yeah.
as a substitute teacher, usually in my daughter's school.
Mm-hmm.
And so I could still be close.
Yeah.
But she, being disabled, could not handle my kids.
Right.
So night classes, she would come over and stay, and she's like, well, I need movies.
Yeah.
So that's how we acquired
Yeah.
the DVD.
Gotcha.
And
Yeah.
so we were able to watch stuff from the library.
What kind of food did you guys eat?
Ooh, it was a rough start, but like I said, after I got that humility and I applied for the food stamps, I could eat whatever I wanted. So
Yeah.
we were always eating really healthy protein and the pasta and more fajitas. I make fajitas all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then chicken pasta and vegetables, fruit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kids love fruit, man.
Yes. There was a big press for the New Wave.
The new wave oven! Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody was getting these special gadgets. We didn't even have a microwave.
Oh my
how
gosh.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I cannot imagine.
Everybody was real big into smoothies.
Uh-huh.
We didn't have a blender.
Yeah.
So
you've told us a little bit already about how your household was set up. Did you own or rent? You rented.
I rented.
You lived in the country, the city, or the suburbs?
City.
The city.
I had to be close to all the jobs.
Right. Who did what in your house? You did everything. That's pretty cut and dry.
Everything.
So, okay, so that's that. Money, and we've already talked about that a little bit too. How did money come into your household, and what were your biggest expenses?
The school, I had
Mhm.
so much, I had extra for just ourselves. Then I was babysitting.
So that was scholarships and
the
loans.
grants. I got a loan.
Okay,
One
so you just had one loan.
Yeah.
God bless you. That was really smart.
It was only $5,000. It's supposed to be, once you're done with school, you can pay it off, no interest and stuff like that.
Yeah. But you got FAFSA grant and private scholarships and that loan.
That's
and you were also
stipend.
working. So that was
Yes.
another thing that was bringing money.
I worked constantly. But being a substitute teacher, I was only getting paid $50 a day.
That's not very much money.
No.
Angel.
No, in fact, when...
Is that even minimum wage?
No.
Oh!
And see, when you apply for, food stamps and stuff, you have to prove your income.
Right.
And they were looking at it like, that's not even minimum wage. I
Yeah.
was like, you're telling me.
Yeah.
Because they're like, you work from here to here, but we want you to be there earlier. We need you to stay there later so their parents can pick up the kids.
Right, yeah.
And I'm like, you just snuck in an extra hour.
Yeah, yeah.
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 Division, y'all.
But
Math.
yeah. But because they were doing it daily wage, they were able to get around that somehow.
Right.
Yeah, that was tough, but I needed a job that was between the school hours.
Yeah, you need a school hours job.
So-
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what
and
you do.
I could take my kid.
Yeah, exactly.
And babysitting and working
Yeah.
at the church. I was watching like 7 kids. At a time. I
Wow.
was always with kids. And New Year's, I had 7 kids. So,
Wow.
yeah.
So you were also babysitting during this
Babysitting,
time.
too.
So that was another income stream for you.
Gas was really expensive.
It was so expensive.
Even with all that, I
Yeah.
still had to walk to work. I'd drive the kids to school,
Uh-huh.
leave my car, and then walk to work. And
Yeah. I remember my brother did this thing he called hypermiling. And what he was doing was he was trying to get the car to go the furthest distance without stepping on the gas pedal.
yes.
And he actually got pulled over by the cops once for driving too slow. Because he was just trying to coast everywhere anyway.
Yes. I did that too. I coasted into the gas station on
Yes!
It had been on 0 miles till empty for a couple of days.
Oh, yeah. I remember. We also talked about this a little bit. How did the political climate affect you? Were there any policies that had a direct impact on your life? So, like you said, the political climate was such that you just didn't want it in your house with the converter box and everything.
Yeah. It just wasn't worth it. I believe that was the year I actually got introduced to Facebook. Because I went to college, everybody was on it, they all had smartphones, and I was behind the times because I was poor. So my friends set me up an account, and then I saw political stuff that way.
Yep.
And
you were like, ugh.
Yeah. I was like, I'm what was it, the Brexit and
Brexit, I don't remember. That was like mid 2010s, like 2015 or something?
Yeah, something like that. I was like, the whole world is going crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm just trying to feed my kids.
Yeah.
And survive.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's a lot of political embarrassment.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, oh, I just don't want to. I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like the policies that had a direct impact on your life was just like the library, the loans, or the grants, things like that.
Yes, definitely, especially the private scholarships. They were so helpful.
Mm-hmm. What were your values, and how did that affect your everyday life?
I was a Christian,
Mm-hmm.
so
Still on.
We were at church every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It was hard times, and so I needed my Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to 2 different churches. I would go to 3 services on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
My kids would go through 3 services. I'd volunteer in the nursery for 2 of them and go to one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got reputation in the nursery, so they started using me for Bible studies. So that was extra income.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was there every day, and I volunteered at soup kitchens and
And you do that with your kids?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's
Angelique
awesome.
still likes to volunteer at the food pantry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I had to take them everywhere.
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, you gotta volunteer because, I could only work during school hours, so I got a lot of time on my hands.
Right.
So I could volunteer. It was more of a way of tithing since I didn't have tons of money.
Right.
I could tithe my time.
Right.
So.
And it also sounds like you really valued a peaceful home. Hence, like the not really wanting the TV on a lot, and the fact that you were with your kids and you really value like family time with all like going out and doing things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you also value getting out and about, like that.
Memories.
Maybe, memories. That's what it is.
Yes. Well, there were a lot of trends like the jeans with the bedazzled butts and
Bedazzler.
The yoga pants that everybody wore. I was still stuck in. I had clothes from my high school. And then I had this teeny tiny budget for my whole household, including shoes for the entire year.
Yeah, and kids grow so fast.
They needed shoes all the time.
Yeah.
So I didn't get shoes. Mm-hmm. And I had to wear, I'd go to my mom's closet and be like, ooh, can I wear that? Mm-hmm. So when I look back at my Facebook pictures, I'm like, oh, look how preppy. And everybody else is in their yoga pants doing their Zumba. And I'm like, baggy dress.
It works. Well, and that also shows another one of your values, which is self-sufficiency and responsibility. But you also learned to balance that with realizing that we all need help sometimes.
Yeah, that was
and being able to accept help.
That's
a tough lesson for everybody. Honestly, it really is. People, it's very vulnerable to admit I need help, whether it's financially or emotionally or whatever. If I tell people I need help, they might come to my house. My house is messy. I don't know if I want help, but I think it's a real marker of strength to be able to admit and accept help. So
that's what my husband tells me. He was my friend throughout all of that. And so he was like,
this is my cousin.
Yes. He was, he's a helpful person. Mm-hmm. He has that mission heart. Mm-hmm. And so he would see me and the holes in my shoes. And he's like, let me just buy you some shoes. I'm like, no, you can't do that. Or my car would break down. I'm like, can you figure out why it's not running? Mm-hmm. It's like, you need a new battery. It's like,
yeah.
So, yeah. It was a tough lesson to learn, and things didn't get better until I learned it. It was like, God's going to keep you here until you learn it. Mm-hmm. And so once I realized, okay, things got a lot better. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Awesome. Well, that's all the questions I have. Thank you so much for putting yourself out there and talking about life and some difficult things, but we're gonna find, I think, as we go back through time, we've always had struggles, and there are some lessons that it doesn't matter what century it is, what decade it is, life still has a lot of the same things in it. So thank you so much. Yeah. All right. Do you have questions? What was your life like in 2010? Anything that you would like to share, please comment below. If you liked the video, nice comments. If you liked the video, click the like button. Please subscribe. It's a small thing that you can do that really helps the channel a lot and helps us to grow. So I'm starting tomorrow. Tomorrow is 2010 week. Tomorrow starts 2010 week, so no more liking sis pants. No more Facebook on my phone. It's gonna be a week. But like compared to what it's gonna be like in December, it's gonna be a breeze. So thanks for watching. Bye. There it is. Okay. I was like, where's the record button? There's a giant button on the back that says record. So.